Welcome in, everybody. Two Piece Pod. I'm your host, Patrick Parker. Today with me, I got my boy Keith. Came into the show. What's up, Keith?
Not much, man. I'm excited to be here.
Hey.
It's been a long time coming, so.
Right. So this episode is brought to you by Porterville Wholesale. If you're trying to save some money, you need to go see my boy Ray down at Porterville Wholesale. Probably up at Porterville's Wholesale since they're above us right now, right? A little bit. Anyways, over at Porterville Wholesale, we'll say at 1902 West North Grand in Porterville, California, he is waiting to save you some money. And if you're really trying to do it right, go down there and, I guess, put it in your bank account, put it in somebody else's bank account if you want to. But the money that you save is going to be nice. So go check him out. He's got the indoor-outdoor heaters. He's got the indoor-outdoor patio sets. I know it's getting cold too, and those heaters are going to be nice. And they're all nice and cheap. Got the nice ones, big ones, small ones, short ones, tall ones. Whichever ones you want, go check them out. Anyways, what's up, man? How you been?
I've been cool, man. Yeah, I can't complain. It's getting a little colder out here, so, I'm just trying to
stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm. Yeah, make sure I got my vitamin C and stuff. So,
yeah. That's how, don't get me wrong, that's how I am.
Yeah.
It's so weird because this is like the first year that I got caught wearing a long sleeve shirt.
Oh.
Like I could always be like, oh, I'm just too hot,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was sitting here one day and I was like, I'm freaking cold.
Yeah. Now, long sleeve, it sucks because in Bakersfield, you could probably only wear a long sleeve for like 2 months out of the year. But they come in handy, like whenever, at the end of the year.
Don't get me wrong, yeah, because I never used to wear them. I'd always be like, okay, if I need to throw on a jacket, I'll throw on a jacket.
Yeah.
But once I get in the car or something, anywhere, I was like, I'm just hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's easier to take off like a sweater or something than a long sleeve.
Yeah, I like zip ups. I'm not gonna lie, those are my favorite. Like hoodies, I'm not gonna. So if I'm gonna go out somewhere and we're gonna be outside for a long time, I'll rock a hoodie because hoodies, I feel like you can put something cool on. It's snug. In there. Like I'm cool. I'm comfy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then if I'm like gonna go in and out, I'm like, give me a zip up.
Mm-hmm. It's just easy access, easy. And you can show your shirt still. The thing with hoodies, like the hoodie is what you're wearing,
outfit.
So you can't really swag it out. Yeah.
It is your outfit. That's true.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna start printing hoodies and stuff too soon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna
fire.
be cool.
Yeah.
So, in case you guys don't know, though, me and Keith over here, we met through football in high school.
Man.
Started off at BHS. And 2006, was it?
Yeah, it was our freshman year, 2006.
Don't tell nobody, but it was in 2006.
It's I mean, I feel like I graduated high school, recently, but it's been so long.
Yeah, like it just seemed like after high school came, time would fly. I'd be like,
gosh. Yeah.
What in the world? I swear to God, there'd be a couple times where I'm like, it's already been a year?
Yeah.
Like, when I had my son, that was the fastest year I've ever seen, and I was like, what? I was like, it's already a year?
Yeah. I remember I was in, like, the 6th grade, and this girl came to our school. She was a former student. She was probably, like, 2 years older than me. She came back in our 6th grade class, and she was like, enjoy your time here, because time flies. And I was like, yeah, right. I'm tired of school. Me in 6th grade, I'm like, I'm tired of coming to school. And she couldn't have been more honest. Like it was like 7th grade, 8th grade. It was just felt so fast.
By.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. So my dad, I remember one time, my dad got mad at me because he was like, son, you need to realize that time goes fast.
Yeah.
It does not slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, time's moving way too slow.
Yeah.
And he got mad. He was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember he just got mad at me and was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I was like,
but now I realize
why.
Like,
it's now
moving.
I realize why.
Yeah.
It did go fast, and now it just goes faster.
Yeah.
The older you get, the faster it goes. That's what scares me the most.
Yeah. Some days I wake up like, especially if I'm not productive, it's like, that's the most frightening thing. Like, I'll be like, yo, I'm 30 years old. Like, it's like you said, it's only moving faster and faster. So I gotta, the only way life slows down for me is if I'm like being productive.
Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like I'm not working hard enough. You know
right.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that completely because it is. It's like I sit here and you feel you feel almost as if you just wasted a day when you're sluggish. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
for sure. Yep.
that's how I've got to the point where I'm like, dude, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
And that's, keep it real, that's what got me started really on doing a lot of like business stuff for myself and motivating like that.
Yeah. You got to, man. It's especially like, having a job is cool, but I think, especially us, we're millennials, so you see so many people on YouTube and, TikTok and all these things. They got all kind of different businesses. There was I seen a girl, and this was like during the pandemic. All she made was like these like very like Afrocentric T-shirts with say like Milan, love Milanin, and all these different things. And she only
I
had,
remember that.
she's from Bakersfield. I don't actually know her. Like my girl had showed me her. She bought a shirt from her or something like that. But she had made like she made a post. She said she made 6 figures in 1 month, and I was like it's really people our age out here like really getting it. So
because she was did she ask people to represent with her shirts and just kind of wear them and take pictures, send them in?
I think so. I'm not. I don't. I might have seen her page once, honestly. So I don't remember like exactly what she had going on there. But I just, with me, I'm all I care about is money. So like, when I see that, I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Keep it real. That's what I was thinking. Like, don't get me wrong. Dang, I've really got an itch in my nose right now. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. I got myself a wipe right here, man, just in case something like that was.
There you go.
You gotta have stuff like this in case you got kids. You know me?
Nah, for sure. Yeah.
That worked out perfect. Y'all didn't see that. So, all right. You know what? Screw it. I'm hitting it one more time here. I gotta get that thing, dude. It hit me hard. My allergies right now have been killing me. My allergies have been the worst I've ever had. Yes.
Sometimes I'll get that like, I have like weird allergies to where everything could be good. Like I could be walking around the house and then all of a sudden like it could be like a fragrance from like a little wallflower or something, and it just be like choking me out, and I'm like, yo, I'm unplugging everything, like TVs, everything.
You know what gets me like is candles.
Candles.
Like when they're burning, it's not as bad, but the minute that you blow them out and that smoke gets out, I might be done.
Yeah.
You might see me just fall over for a minute.
Yeah.
Seize up. No,
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, man. It's so I have like just weird allergies to like certain fragrances too. So I know exactly what you mean.
It's crazy. Stuff makes me trip out. I thought I could deal with them sometimes.
Yeah.
They'd be killer.
And for me, like I said, it'd be on different days. So I could walk past the thing every day, and then all of a sudden, just like 2 a.m, I'm just like, yeah. And then I have to find out what it is.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, you gotta like you could smell it the first time, or you could do whatever the first time. The second time it hits you, that's when it gets you.
Yeah.
That kind of rhymed, but I didn't mean to do that.
You know what I think too is like, because like you said, like the candles or these little wallflowers or whatever, they when you initially have like it full, I think it burns a little differently than when it's like a little bit left or something. Yeah, it might be like
that might be what it is.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
But anyways, how you guys doing? So yeah, we weren't talking about our allergies.
5 minutes about allergies.
So okay, check it out. Let's talk about something that's good and pleasant and out there and willing to be heard. Let's talk about your music.
Yeah,
that's what I want to get into a little bit right now. So, when did you start writing music? Let's just start there.
I think, as far as I can remember, I was probably like 10, like somewhere around like the 5th grade. Actually, was like a Christian rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I listened to like regular like hip hop, like secular music. But I was raised in church, so like my mom primarily, she allowed us to listen to other stuff, but like for the most part, she wanted us to listen to like gospel music.
Yeah,
right?
That's cool.
So my favorite rappers were like gospel rappers. So for the longest time, I was rapping about like God and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's cool though.
Yeah, and then one day I just made a shift. Like I just want to be, cause I always felt like I always felt like like to me, like Jay-Z is my favorite rapper.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a ceiling on like gospel rap. Like you
Oh
can't
yeah,
be Jay-Z of gospel rap. You're
yeah.
gonna be like so.
You can only be
Yeah.
gospel rap.
Yeah, just like the best gospel rapper, right? I didn't want that box for myself, so I just kind of stepped out.
Well,
And
I
did
understand
my
that.
own
You
thing.
kind of like, don't get me wrong, but you kind of have to know what limitations are, and you were like, I want to push past.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure. Yeah.
that's understandable.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would have I think I still have at my mom's house, like little notebooks with rhymes in there and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So just in a notebook.
Yeah.
So like, would you write your own songs a lot and then go out and perform them, or?
No, like it would be like I had this karaoke machine.
Okay.
So some of those like back in the day, like when we had CDs and stuff like that, if you bought a single, it would have like the song and then like a remix and then like an extended version and then like sometimes it had the instrumental on there. So I'll put the instrumental on my karaoke machine and then I would like press record. And then I'll have my little microphone and then I'd just be like rapping. Like I had no idea like there's a structure to song, like the chorus and all that stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just rapping.
You just going.
Yeah. I was
You
just
was your
going.
own rapper. You was like.
Yeah.
The beat's like. Boop. You're like.
Yeah.
It
It probably wasn't even that crazy, but it was like, it was something. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I was getting that down.
Yeah, and then I would pause it, like, it was a whole
I
thing.
gotta re-record that.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think inspired you most about that? Just hearing the gospel music, or?
I always, you know how it is, like, we said we play football together, so when you watching TV, you just sitting there like, I can do that. Like, we grew up watching, like, Terrell Owens and, Drew Brees and all these guys. We're like, I could play football.
I could play football.
Yeah, so same with rap. It was like, I could do something like that. And shout out to my uncle, too, rest in peace, my Uncle Jamel. He was the one that kind of, like, put me on in terms of like really like he was the first person I knew personally that like rapped.
Oh, okay.
They like so really kind of cared.
Like, say, hey, try this out.
Mm-hmm.
Feel this out.
Yeah, and told me like this is how you write bars. I would be inspired by him. Like we shoot lines and back and forth. Like I would be excited to show him music. Like like yo, I just like
check out what
that was my goal, just to make him proud. Like
okay,
so, yeah,
I understand that. Yeah, I understand. That's cool though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To have somebody, but that's what like even like I was telling you earlier, it's just nice to have somebody that has some experience with something.
Yeah.
Asking them questions, because you at the part where they might have stumbled or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
So
yeah,
that's what it's all about.
And that's the thing. Like it's this is a lot of it is uncharted territory. You know what I mean? So I'm always looking for some, like I have different things going on in life, but I'm always wishing like, dang man, like I just wish I could call somebody as like a mentor or something like that. But a lot of times it's just. We just gotta bump our head.
Yeah, step into the water and hopefully there ain't no sharks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, because a lot of your music now, I mean, I listen to it as much as possible, and that shit,
appreciate it.
That shit goes hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you even had somebody playing it while they was playing some Call of Duty.
Yeah. So, well, it wasn't them playing it while they were playing. What happened is there's this. There's a page that does like highlights of like popular like gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So they put together the highlight tape and then they used my song for it.
Ooh.
And then I seen it just randomly because looking through my distribution website, and I seen it and I was like, what the heck? Like who used my song? So when I clicked on it, I was like, what? And then it was all over YouTube. But the cool thing about it is when I shared it and I was like, man, this is kind of cool. Like I never experienced something like that. So let me make a piece of content out of it. And then what I realized is like, there were people that were like, it's just a page. It's not necessarily a person. But they were like, I don't know how you would say it, like cheering on the guy or I won't say the guy, the person that the person's page. They were like, "Yo, you made it! Like, shout out to you!" Like, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm just Keith, like this dude, random dude from Bakersfield." But they were looking at it as if it was like they getting a shout out by Jay-Z or something like that, you know. So I was just like, it was just pretty
good.
crazy.
You know, okay, keep it real. So I was just saying too, like I understand that feeling a tiny bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that does it. It's just that recognition. Someone gave you recognition
Yeah.
on the stuff that you're doing, and you're like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I just needed right now to boost me up a little bit.
Yeah, that happens too. Like I remember, I dropped I forgot when I dropped it, but there's a song called "Shots Part 2" that I dropped, and I remember when I put the song out. You could look at the numbers, and sometimes we get so discouraged by numbers. But in reality, like we're just working towards something. So I put the song out, and I was not feeling too great about the reception. It might have been like a few listens on like the first 24 hours or something. And then that next morning, my cousin Brian called me. He was like, he actually FaceTimed me. He texted me first. He was like, "Yo, you up?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he just FaceTimed me. I was like, "Yo, I've been playing this song back to back to back. Like it just reminded me of me going to parties when I was a kid and all this stuff. Like, yo, this is so fire. Like, but it was so timely because like I was feeling so down on myself because I put in so much work. Like I worked on the mix and trying to get everything right and the rollout and all these different things, and then you realize you think to yourself like nobody actually cares. Like I put all this work and nobody cares, and then he called me that day and it was just like I just thanked him. I was like, "Bro, you don't know what you did to my spirit right now." Because, you know, I was not feeling too good.
I needed that. You know, like I just needed that. And that recognition feels just like you're just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm doing something. People are actually hearing it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of wanted people to understand. And I had a couple people actually say what's up. You know what I mean? They were like, one was at work. And low key, I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of low key got embarrassed a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't ready. Like I'm never promoting myself in work and stuff like that. So when we came in, I was kind of low key. Like I almost felt like I got red. Like I was you know what I mean? Like I wasn't ready, and he got me. But it was cool. I was very thankful for that. You know what I mean? And then somebody said something to me at one of the pop-ups I was doing just recently. On Saturday, actually. Saturday morning. But they said something to me. They're like, "Oh yeah, sounds. You know, it's cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it just made you feel good.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I get that.
Yeah. We need that, man. Yeah. Like, cause you know we gotta motivate ourselves for 90% of the time, 95% of the time, but sometimes we need that, like the extra 5%.
Little push. Just that little push. Not the wrong way, but
yeah, for
not
sure.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, back on. On that way,
yeah. Cause I mean, those conversations we have with ourselves, like, can we actually do this, or
is it worth doing it?
Yeah, is it worth doing it? I'm spending money,
money.
Yeah. Especially, you got family. I'm in a relationship and I got family and stuff. And you just, like, I start to, we talked about just getting older. I start to think about, like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it. Like, I can't spend, because I've been doing the podcast for like 4 years, and then, making music since I was like 10. So like I can't spend this much of my time and just stop before I reach where I want to, the destination,
Oh yeah. I understand. Like you just like, it's already been out there. You kind of have to do, like, that's why, don't get me wrong. Okay. I'm not going to lie, and I'll not lie to these people either, but that's why, sometimes I don't get every week, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll get a couple weeks in a row,
Yeah.
But it's just because a lot of times there's a lot of people that are willing to do it, but there's also a lot of people that are not willing to do it. So when I start talking to people and I'm like, "Yo, hey, would you like to jump on?" and they're like, "I don't really know. I don't think that'd be cool, But I understand because, like I said, the first time I started doing these things, I was like,
yeah.
I tried to be cool,
Yeah.
So I had to kind of just keep talking in front of it, and now it's just like people are listening, and. But you just got to be yourself. That's what people want to hear.
Yeah, that's all it's about, man. So, but yeah, it's like reps too. Like, it's just like, doing freaking I don't know, cone drills in football or whatever. Like, it's
Yeah.
just the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. So that's
So
what's
okay, take me through some of your biggest songs right now.
So shots part 2 is probably like my most streamed song, and it's like it's I don't even know the number, but it may be like 80,000 streams or something like
Dang,
that. Which is good for just it
that's
just
really
being
good.
me. So yeah, that song actually I released the original song like in 20 or I probably made the original song like which I probably need to go back there. I make the dopest songs in like my mom's kitchen. Like, so I made that beat. I had like an old MacBook, like, it was before the Pro. It was like the white one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made it I made that beat back then, and I released the original version with my younger brother. And it's the hook was the same, but the verse was different. But I was like, what I realized is like, even for you, this is maybe some advice to you. Like, the world hasn't seen what you have to offer yet, so you could revamp or like
Mm-hmm.
redo certain things.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this song is like the concept is really dope. Let me like add a new verse to it, like beef it up a little bit, change the instruments around a little bit. So I changed the drums, and then I added a little bit different melody and all these different things, and then I did the verses over, and now it's like I said, it's my biggest streamed song. So
So okay, when you do that, would it almost be like considered making your own beat?
yeah,
I know you're kind of it's off of another beat, but it's not. That's like saying, hey, if I had copper, and then you're like, well, okay, I'm gonna take. Well, how about this? I had this liquid and I had this gas, and I
mhm.
put it together, and or I don't know, something like that. I had this
I
gas
feel
and I
you.
had this ice, and I put them
Yeah,
together, and made a liquid. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's a different whole substance. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you can consider it
It's the
your own.
same kind of like
You're
genetic makeup
building.
or chemical
Yeah, you're
makeup.
just
Yeah,
kind of like building your own
yeah,
together.
yeah. Pretty
I
much.
mean, you'd be
It's
like a scientist putting things together, right?
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
that's
that
why
y'all
I
had
call
to
him
hear that,
Dr.
by the way.
Dre.
Don't hear me stumble.
Nah, it's but yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's like, it just kind of I use the same skeleton, I
Hmm.
guess you would say, and then I just kind of like add it. And what happened too is like if you hear both songs, you hear like the growth in terms of like just me as a human being, me as an artist, as a writer, just overall like those like if you put those two songs back to back, that's like the type of work that I've put into being a better artist. So, but that song, it started as like, in that like post high school, just going to different house parties and stuff like that, and just seeing like,
The
you
crazy
know,
shit out there.
yeah, seeing people shooting and fighting and all these
All
different
the
things.
time.
Like, yeah, so that's like the it's like just a storytelling version of like, that kind of post high school um, years where people drinking and fighting and shooting and all these different things. So
Getting
yeah,
into it over dumb stuff.
yeah, there's girls and
I
all
was about to
kind
say,
of
you
just like
talk to my girl.
yeah, exactly, all kind of
Yeah,
stupid stuff. So
that's what they do.
that's the that's the song in a nutshell. And I just released another song called Ride, and that's featuring this artist named Maishan.
My Sean.
Yeah, and Maishan is like he's dope. He's not like super well known. He's like kind of more well known like in the industry terms because he's been like an actor, and
Oh wow.
he was on a couple TV shows,
Oh wow.
and
So he's got a pretty good following. That's cool.
yeah.
Nice.
So I reached out to him because the beat I didn't make the beat, but I found it on TikTok, and I originally had one artist do like the hook for it, and it just like the communication kind of fell out, so I didn't end up working with him anymore.
Communication's key.
Communication is super key, and that's one thing that I realized like working with people, and I probably won't reach out to get features. Probably not in the near future unless I have a real relationship with them, just because like it's hard to communicate with people, especially if you're communicating through managers and like, these are people that are signed to record labels and stuff sometimes. So, the communication, like, and a lot of times, honestly, like they just don't care. Like they don't care enough to where it's like they'll do what you ask them to do, and then you'll pay them whatever their rate is. But after that, it's just like
they're done.
Yeah, like I did what I was supposed to do.
They don't want to be cool. They just want their money and gone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do, and then it's
and then I'm out.
Yeah.
See, don't get me wrong. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So if you want to know a big portion of this, like the reason I started doing this kind of stuff, was because I liked the fact that people were doing good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's like even if you're doing bad, like this can show you that hey, you can do good.
Yeah.
You're like hey, everybody has the chance. I was gonna say got's the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has the chance.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. That's why I started doing these podcasts. So when it's something like that, like I'm like, yeah, man, come over, chill. I won't ever tell nobody else, but I give stuff I give out the bags, just little stuff like that, at least to say like thank you. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That make people feel good.
Heck yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what worries me is like one day I might have to pay somebody to get on here, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Cause you'll hear like I've heard artists say, and we live in Bakersfield, so we don't have the same resources as somebody that lives in LA. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of times, like artists from LA, what will happen is like their cousin is a signed artist, or they went to high school with a different artist. Yeah, or you just run into people by being in a studio
and just talking. And
yeah. But Bakersfield, we don't really have that. There's not really a famous artist here. So, in terms of like us being content creators, we just kind of like we gotta do certain things like that, like maybe pay for a feature or something like that. But I think what I'm realizing now is like and I'll see how the song does in comparison to Shots, but if Shots Part 2 is like my most streamed song, and it may always be my most streamed song, that's telling me right there.
A lot of streams.
Yeah,
80,000 is a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd definitely take 80,000.
And I think that's only on Spotify, so I don't know what it looks like
everywhere else. Maybe it's like 200 million.
That'd be wild. Yeah. But yeah, but no, it's just like, so I guess the theme to all of that is just like real relationships are far more important than like buying a feature or getting the biggest guest on your podcast, because the real relationship is going to take you further than money can.
Right. And don't get me wrong, but it's nice because a lot of the people that come on, like I know them. Mm-hmm. Like at least I've known them for some period of time.
Yeah.
That does make it nicer because then we can kind of, hey, but what have you been doing this, doing that. And,
yeah.
And then, but some of them I don't know, which is fine. I kind of do that too. That's cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'll chat it up with you every day,
Yeah.
But it's cool when you got somebody that, and even the people that I don't know have been really nice about it afterwards and hung out. And that's what I respect a lot more. Like that the chance that we get to do that. And it's like, all right, cool,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, like it's hard when it's like, yeah, I gotta, if I want to get some numbers up and maybe get paid for this one day, I gotta do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of it too is like like we're figuring it out, like what I mean. That's like the features that I paid for that the one that didn't really work out. Like I'm going to use it in some capacity, but it's just like you hate that you have to go through some of that to like learn a lesson,
Yeah.
You would just think that everybody is just
kind of cool with it,
Yeah,
but I know that's how I kind of thought for a while, and then you realize that people are like, nah.
Yeah, and everybody's like, for me, like I'm a person that like honestly, no matter where I was at in my career, like we go way back, so like I would pop up if I had 80 million streams on Shots Part 2, just because like that's the type of person I am. I'm not a person that like, because what I realize is some people in the industry, they move, they communicate with you at like the level you're at, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
And see, that's what's hard for me.
mm-hmm.
That's what's really hard for me is I'm like, hey, I'm building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm building right now. And it's like, don't get me wrong. I have a steady following of people viewing and stuff like that. And that's cool. And I love that. And thank you guys, by the way, who are actually
Shout
doing
out to
and
y'all.
listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So, but that's huge.
Yeah.
That to me is huge. And so I got a couple steady followers that listen to that stuff. And I'm like, cool. And it's just nice. And I'm like, okay, I just got to keep moving forward.
Yeah. Just keep feeding those core audience members. And sometimes, to be real, like, it's a lot of people that support in silence. And not like in a bad way. It's just like that's just the way they move. Like I've been in situations where more so Eddie, because Eddie, like, he kind of sees people at gyms and stuff like that. But Eddie would be like, somebody come up to Eddie, man, hey, man, love the podcast. Y'all keep doing your thing. Just like being in a grocery store or something like that. And you'd be like, yo, I didn't even know this person knew I had a podcast.
I was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Is like, that's totally respectable because I keep like it's like I've listened to tons of podcasts. Let me slow down for you real quick. But I've listened to tons of podcasts where I don't go back and go, oh yeah, that was a 5-star like right there.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, dang, that shit was dope. Like I like that.
Yeah.
Let me move. I'm gonna listen to the next one now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm not. It's like I like it in silence, and if I see you, I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, that was dope, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I get that. I understand that.
Yeah, it's cool. I think like I think for me, what I realized like somewhere along the way was like this is like a science experiment for me. Like I had this goal to be like famous or like to have some sort of notoriety, and I'm not there. I'm not where I want to be, but I know how to get there, and so I'm just in the experiment stage. Like I'm just
that's where I'm kind of at too. Because like, don't get me wrong, like you said, I'm trying to learn. That's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see what people like and don't like. I'm trying, people are like, hey, this was dope. This was not dope. Hey, that was dumb. And I'm like,
yeah.
Like, what hit me hard was my first dislike. Somebody, I don't know who did it, but somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
It's probably somebody that knows you. That's usually how it goes.
It could be.
Yeah.
But when I saw it for the first time, I was like, "Can I erase that, man? I don't like it."
But that's how you know when
people are being real.
You've reached enough people to where like you're no longer in the like friends and family stage. Somebody out there is like that just doesn't have the same
views and vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know like we had a clip on our podcast. It was like a short. It was at like 75,000 views, 77,000 somewhere in there, and it's at like a 71% like.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like the whole world, of course you want everybody to like it, but that's not real. That's not realistic.
Because once you get out the friends and family, people are going to be realer with you.
Yeah. I don't know
this person. There's a lot of critics out
here.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so, sure. I definitely get that. But it did. I was like, nah, man.
Yeah, I know that hurts.
Like
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, man, who disliked this thing?
Yeah.
Probably is somebody I know, though.
Yeah. It is. It's interesting, especially, like, the power of the internet, like you said. Like, of course, like, when you first post anything, it's going to go straight to, like, your friends or the people that know you or communicate with you the most. But after that, it's wild, wild west. Like, so opinions of everybody is just out there.
So that's exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. I like that. You know, I want to take the criticism in a sense, not criticism. My bad. The constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll build. And if you guys did like something, please let me know. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying, hey, everybody go dislike my stuff. Please don't do that. But hey,
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
you could send questions, send in stuff that we could talk about too, and whoever my guest is on the time, we could always talk about that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, let me ask some questions about this. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like
They got to be valid questions though, and I can't answer no, you know, like
That's some
stupid
wild
things.
stuff.
Yeah, some of the stuff were wild, but we'd censor whichever ones we.
Yeah, it's cool. That's the biggest thing, like just kind of building a rapport with people, like they feel like they're a part of something, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Yeah. Like that.
And see, and that's okay, because that's what I tried to build my audience. Man, we went from music on this thing. Where are we even at? Okay, hold on 1 second. This episode is also brought to you by VIP on the Go. They are the fastest delivery if you can do that in Bakersfield. I want to say that. I said like 30 minutes. Give them 30 minutes. They'll be there fast. I'm telling you. But you got to send an in code 2Piece Pod, okay, to this number right here. Is 1-661-380-6380. Send it to that number. Excuse me again. Send code 2Piece Pod right here. Make sure to send that in. They're going to let you know that... Ooh, I'm burping. That they'll get there as fast as possible. So go there, hit them up. And trust me, you're going to do it. Because they got the flour, they got the edibles, they got the carts, they got the... whatever you want. Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, wax. They got it all. Just hit them up. And soon they're going to have their storefront up. It's going to be dope. Just go check them out. That's, again, VIP on the Go. All right. Well, dang, we went off on a good one. That was supposed to be all about your music. We just kept going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. So, okay. We kind of just we're going off about basically just having the podcast go into connections, but at the same time, talking about your music, you know, let me get a couple more things on that real quick, and then we'll move on. But you said you were in a down place. Do you feel like it's easier to write music when something's wrong? A lot of people have kind of given me mixed signals on this.
Not for me. I know, like, the times were, in retrospect, maybe, like, you know, I could talk about.
Because you're just willing, I feel like, a little bit more to just open up, and maybe that sticks into the music more. Is what I think.
I'm not. You see, like, say, like a Nirvana, you know, like Kurt Cobain. He's writing from like the darkest depths of like depression and stuff. I personally, I'm not creative in that space. You know what I mean? Okay. I can't really. I can't
You're locked down.
I have to process how I'm feeling and all these things. But I think that those emotions make for the best music. Mm-hmm. But for me, it takes me being removed from it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I talk about like the way I grew up, and, you know, whether it was like, you know, growing up poor, or, you know, my mom being a single mom at times, and her having to like work 2 jobs and all these different things. In real time, it's like frustrating and sad and stuff like that. But, you know, when you're removed from it by a couple years, you like, yo, this is like
different.
And it's built me, you know, so you could talk about it from like a learning perspective, and not just like being frustrated
with it and dealing with it. And
so
that's totally true.
But that's like, you know, like, it's called like rhythm and blues, like R&B. It's, you know, the blues are the most important aspect of it. You know, just those sad stories that go along with those really breakups, or, you know, sunshine. Yeah, exactly. The sunshine is not there when she's not there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, rhythm and blues is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
R&B, I just kind of like the jam, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just, it's sometimes sad, but you could just mob to it, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, too, like, I'm not really, like, emotionally connected to music, right? So, it just, like when I hear that Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone, it's just a jam. It doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't put me at a place where I'm just like sad because some girl left me or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
I get you. Yeah, I don't really think there's much music. Like, there's some times where I'll listen to a little bit sadder music, and it
Yeah.
might be like, but I just think it's like I bounce from music to music anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I just listen to so many random musics
Mm-hmm.
that I think that's really what
It's
it
just
is.
whatever.
Yeah, that's
whatever
what it
mood.
is.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Cause sometimes I could work out to like R&B.
Bro, oh my God, thank you. I'll work out to R&B.
Yeah.
I'll work out to like to rock. I'll work out to rap. I'll work out to shoot country.
Yeah.
It all depends.
Yeah.
Just what I want to listen to at that time. Electric music. I've
Yeah.
done. I've damn near done it all.
Yeah.
I won't do no screamo. I'm sorry.
You can't do it.
Can't do it. I can't do none of that. I'm sorry. It's hard. Well, I mean, no, I can't do it.
I never got into that. But I will. There's something about that, like.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but
I like the drums. I ain't gonna front. I don't listen to it a lot, so I'm not
it's
gonna sit here
heavy
and act.
drumming.
But it's like.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that made me want to be a drummer as a kid. That's what I wanted to do. In fact, somebody asked me if I was in band in sixth grade, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're like, what'd you play? And I was like, the drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to.
Did you stop playing or what happened?
Yeah, I stopped playing right away.
Yeah.
I was very into sports. Let's just say, and I just did not want to sit there.
Do both.
Well, and I was never one to like sit still.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was up, like if I was awake, I wanted to be outside. I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to run around.
Yeah.
And I could do it all day long as a kid.
Yeah.
And you would never stop me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't take naps. I didn't, like I was running and gunning.
Yeah.
If I had free time, I'm running and gunning.
Yeah.
My parents would have to drag me inside in order to get me inside. Yeah. I was like that.
That's a trick. I used to be like that. Like, the street lights come on or whatever. I'd be like, man, I still want to.
I want to play.
One last. We used to play football like in the apartments I grew up in. Used to play football. There's like this little parking lot.
Okay, like a strip parking lot.
Yeah. We about there playing like two hands on back or whatever.
Hit a car post.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to like dread coming inside to eat dinner or whatever. Like, man, I just want to stay outside and play.
Keep it real. If you want to know the truth, I remember this because my parents used to hate this. But as a kid, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, there'd be nights where I'd eat some, but there'd be some nights where I'd take 2 bites. I'm full.
Yeah.
And I'd be full
Just
for the rest of the
play,
night.
huh?
Yeah, and I'd be playing.
Yeah.
Playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I keep it real. And it still kind of happens to this day. If, like, I take a day off or something like that or whatever, and I have a day inside all day long, I'll get headaches right away.
You want to be moving around.
Yeah, my body wants to get out and do something. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
I get major, like, headaches.
Yeah. I don't think I'm so inside that it's hard to drag me outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what shifted for me. I think, because, growing up playing sports and like just being outside playing with your friends. And then I'm so comfortable inside now. It's hard to drag me out of the house.
Yeah, there's sometimes where I'm like that. Well, just because I like hanging out with him too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes he just is a little ball of poop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes literally, sometimes just figuratively.
Yeah.
But I love the little man, so it's fun to hang out with him. It's like,
I
notice whenever I'm gone, it's like I just want to be like, dude, I just want to come home and say what's up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just
like,
kick it, huh?
Yeah, because
That's
that's the good stuff,
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, I mean, just thinking about that, that's I tried it once. I think I was going through like a bad breakup or something like that, and I was trying to like, and then you realize like some of the perspective is so toxic. Like I have a song that will probably never get released, but it's essentially saying like, if you leave me, or if you break up with me, you'll never meet another guy like me. And I think the song is dope. I don't know if I would ever put it out, but like it's just the most arrogant song like I've ever wrote. But
you're like, yeah, this is powerful right here.
Yeah, but that was like in the moment. But in retrospect, I don't I don't feel like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, even when I was telling you before, like, keep it real. When we were in high school playing football, you was always quiet, humble. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I thought of you as preacher man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought one day you might just break out and start yelling at us all. We all gonna sit here like, damn, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Keep going on.
Yeah.
But for real, like,
Uh-huh. I remember it was halftime of like I don't know. I only played 2 games freshman year because that's when I got injured. But it had to be. Was it Bakersfield Christian we played? Do you remember?
ooh, I don't know.
Because I think it was like the second year they were in school or whatever, and we were playing like this.
It might have been because it was our freshman year, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like our second game.
Our home game. We had a home game, and I think we were losing. And I remember, I think it was Coach Martin, if I can remember correctly.
Martin, man.
We were losing, and he came in at halftime, and he was like, you guys are the leaders. Like, you need to get up and say something to the team. And I'm just sitting there like, no,
not me.
Not me. Like, I've only known these guys for like 3 weeks. Like, what am I going to say to them?
What you want me to say?
I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, so, Coach Martin, man.
Yeah.
He was goofy, man.
Yeah.
I still see them sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, so they come into Pizzaville.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
They come in there. And
I haven't seen him in years.
I don't know necessarily if like Coach Martin recognizes me as much, but Coach Erickson.
Oh, he be in there?
Well, yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong, but I played baseball and his son played baseball.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
like I still know his son and stuff. Yeah, so every time they come in there, I'd always say what's up. And
that's so cool, man.
Yeah,
is he still coaching, Coach Erickson?
I don't know, but remember how many times he broke his clipboard?
Yeah,
like
just frustrated.
Yeah,
just pissed off.
Yeah, that was funny though.
That's crazy.
We had a great defense, though.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, did you play safety?
So I played freshman year. I played safety. I played cornerback most of the time. I think I was free safety though most of the time.
Yeah, I remember you playing free safety.
Yeah, because I wanted to go up and get the ball and stuff, and I'd always send everybody on a blitz. Go blitz! Go blitz! I got you.
Yeah, I remember you back there making tackles and stuff.
Yeah, I remember, dude. Oh.
But yeah, that's the thing with sports too. Like, the older you get, the more like business it is. It kind of sucks the fun out of it. Like,
it really does, though. You're not lying. Because even now, have you seen that they're paying all the college players?
Yeah.
And then not only that, but did you see that now in the pro football? I think they're doing it in multiple sports, but you can actually invest money into the players.
No, I didn't see that. That's
crazy. Say, for instance, you're like, oh, Christian McCaffrey had a down week this last week, but since he's down right now, I'm going to put $1,000 into him.
Like stocks.
So he's going to do good this next week. And if he goes off, then you have all that raised up and you sell it.
Yeah.
Make your money.
Dang. No, I think...
But here's the thing, is the reason they're doing this too, and the reason I do like it is because a part of that profit actually goes back to the player.
Yeah.
So it gives the player more incentive to even do more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing good and you're building it up like that, you could be getting millions upon millions of dollars if people are investing in you the whole time.
That's true.
So
that's interesting. I remember I probably still got some money tied up somewhere. I remember Vernon Davis, like they introduced that idea years ago, and you could buy like stock into athletes. So I don't know where my money is. I don't know if I sold it or what, but I do remember like being able to invest in like certain athletes, like a stock.
Yeah, that's dope, and I'm like I said, that's cool. I mean, if you're willing to play that kind of game, because that's a good game to play. It's like playing fantasy.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, people are already betting on you, so
yeah. But I mean, this gives you more of a chance that like, oh, this is the matchup. This is who's gonna do good. And,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I think That would be interesting. Is it just professional athletes, or are they doing like college and
I
stuff?
think it's just professionals.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got to think that's kind of hard. All the college athletes are like, there's people that watch all that stuff, but at the same time, I feel like that's so much to invest into everybody. And
Yeah.
you'd have to do all the starters, the backups, the backups, the backups.
Yeah. The walk-ons.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
you
that.
know what I'm saying? So it's like the
Yeah.
people that just sit on the bench just to throw water bottles
Yeah.
at people, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to do that, and it's like, damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the way that football, or not just football, but college sports is going, I think I'm curious to see how it plays out because what they're doing now with where they got college athletes on like Beats commercials and Nike commercials and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Well, they're starting to be able to pay them, so it's kind of like you said. I don't know, like how much are they getting paid, and really what is it, you know? And are these people going to be good when they go into the pros now, or what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, because that's huge. Have you seen that? I just watched a commercial, but you know how like Baker Mayfield was all over all those commercials?
Yeah.
So I seen him in an Oklahoma Sooners or the I think it was the Oklahoma Sooners. No, wait, maybe it was on what? Crimson Tide? I can't remember. Anyway, he did the commercial.
Yeah.
But he was in his college jersey.
Oh.
Instead of being in a professional jersey, because he's not in the Browns and stuff anymore, which is where he was doing all that stuff at. I'm like, oh my god.
I know he has like Hulu. I think he had a Hulu commercial. It might have been like a State Farm commercial. Yeah.
I thought he was going to do pretty good, to be honest with you.
I don't know what happened. It's so tough.
I think he got too much into commercials.
Maybe. I think it's hard. Like, you know, picking when it comes to drafting players, it's all a prediction. We don't know what it's gonna look like. And,
well, I mean, even thinking about Russell Wilson right now. Have you seen how he's doing?
Oh, terrible. Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, he's just some fashion diva. And it's like,
yeah. I don't know. Quarterback is so tough, and
it's very tough. I miss Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I miss Sean Payton.
Yeah. Drew Brees is one, like, when I look at his career, he was okay on the Chargers, and then once he got to the Saints, he was like the best quarterback.
So I think it was the way that they set up the offense together, and I think Sean Payton had a big role in it, bigger than people know, and I guess now they really do know this year, because our coaches are trash this year. I hate to say that, but
he's getting the ball out of his hands.
It was the offense that he had installed is what it was, and it was nice so that Drew Brees could just make his decisions quick.
Yeah,
because Drew Brees, I think his average time in his entire career was like 2.3 seconds holding the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's being like 1, 2, gone.
And he doesn't have the biggest arm, and he's not that tall either. So, I would imagine the longer the play goes on, the more he's at a disadvantage.
Right. You know what I mean? Everybody trying to get up in his face.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it is like system, because I think, like, have you been paying attention to the Seahawks? Like in what Geno Smith is doing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the coach was what set it up nice.
Yeah.
And now we got no Sean Payton and Pete Carmichael's calling the plays, and I'm like, what are you calling?
Yeah.
They're blitzing, so freaking throw a screen.
Just get Like, who's the quarterback over
there? Well, we were supposed to have Jameis Winston. He didn't do very good, so now we have Andy Dalton.
He had like a good year with the Buccaneers.
So
I don't know what happened.
He did okay with the Buccaneers, but that was the year he went 30 for 30.
Yeah, 30 like the
but he had the most pass yards in the entire league.
Yeah, just threw a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, we picked him up. He sat behind Drew Brees a year and then came out and played. And the way Sean Payton had him playing was A-okay.
He was getting the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, getting the ball out of his hands. He'd, do some stuff, and he was looking great. And then this year he came out and just...
terrible.
Throwing interception after interception and couldn't move the ball. And I was like, oh, well, that's not very good. So then they threw in Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton does okay for like a game. And then the next game, he's like, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interception. Cool, I threw the ball away. That's all right. I'm like, okay, thanks, man.
Yeah. You would expect with those veterans that have been like pushed around the league a little bit, the best they're good for is like winning a couple games. Like they're not meant to be like taking over a team.
Well, I think we're in between trying to find somebody.
Yeah. You'd probably draft a quarterback.
Well, I'm thinking no, because the Eagles have our first round draft pick this year. But I'm thinking we might be trading Sean Payton away.
Okay.
So somebody's gonna want him.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said that they were saying there's a Niner like insider. His name is Grant Cohn. I think he's been talking about trading coaches, like saying that we should get Sean Payton or something like that.
Yeah, but you guys are gonna give us Kyle Shanahan?
I guess. I don't know if it was like.
I mean, I'd take him.
You like Kyle Shanahan?
I mean, he's a better coach than fucking Dennis Allen.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I hate to say that. Because I want Dennis Allen to do good, but he can only be a defensive coordinator. That's what he needs to focus on. But
it's tough.
I would take Kyle Shanahan.
It's only a couple. Like, say Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick,
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. He's a defensive guy.
No, Sean Payton's offense.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Right. But like Pete Carroll.
Oh, Tim Harbaugh.
Like,
from the Steelers. What's his name? Jim Harbaugh is what I meant. But what's his fucking name from the Steelers now?
I can't think of his name either.
But yeah, he's a big old defensive guy.
Yeah, It's a couple of them that can like manage a team.
But it's because they also had a really good quarterback and stuff like that could manage the offense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Bill Belichick had Tom Brady. You know what I mean? You had Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers. You had even when the Vikings were known as a defensive team, you had Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
there's a lot there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. It's like even with the 49ers, like we got Trey Lance at quarterback, and he's out for the season now. But
Jimmy G,
my fingers are crossed.
Hey, you know what I stated once you guys picked up McCaffrey? Mm-hmm. Is that it was going to be McCaffrey and Ayuk. We're going to be the two connections now.
That's kind of how it's playing out, huh?
It looks nice, though.
Yeah.
It looked real nice with Ayuk going deep.
Because Ayuk we got Deebo Samuel, but he's a good football player, but Ayuk is a real receiver. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. That's what I've been saying. Like, don't get me wrong. If you put the ball in Deebo Samuel's hands, yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
You're going to do some stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you just want him to be a receiver, he all right.
Yeah, he just don't got like the skill set to run good route. He also drops a lot of passes, so it's a lot going on there. But Ayuk is like a legit, and he's still young. He's it's like third year or something like that, fourth year. So he's like, I think he still has like good days ahead of him. So.
And look at how he's looking right now. Because, like, again, now you've got the running back that can go out and do what you guys had Deebo Samuel doing. Mm-hmm. So now they're putting like, oh yeah, Deebo Samuel's out there, and then it's like, well. You guys really need to watch out for Ayuk because if we wanted somebody to run something right here in the middle, I'll just throw Christian McCaffrey on a play action, put him right there. He's going to run a little out with him. Then you're going to have Ayuk going deep, and I'm just going
to... Yeah. Yeah. It's hopefully, I think, we've been winning the last few games, so hopefully they keep developing that connection with Ayuk because Ayuk he's been putting in a lot of work just trying to
especially when Trey Lance comes back.
Yeah.
I was telling everybody too, like this is the year that Trey Lance needed to just kind of actually play, you know what I mean, and build because you can do that right now. Mm-hmm. And then you guys got Christian McCaffrey with Jimmy G. Now you guys probably have a good chance of going all the way if you guys can stay healthy.
Yeah, I think. We got the skills to do it. It's just a matter of like putting together a run when we get to the playoffs. And I think we need a high enough seed to where we're not playing on the road.
Yeah.
The whole playoffs.
Yeah, unless you guys are playing in LA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another home game. We got great traveling fans.
You guys might play the Chargers there if you guys are playing Super Bowl. Well, no, you guys won't play the Chargers there. What am I talking about?
Unless it's a Super Bowl,
No, because then You guys are playing. I think it's in Arizona this year.
Okay.
But you guys, I mean, that's not very far.
Yeah.
So that'll probably still, no matter what, if you guys make it, that'll almost be a home
That's
game.
a home
against
game.
Anybody that you guys play, unless it's the Cardinals.
And even
unless it's the Chargers. No, Chargers don't even have a fan base that would follow them.
No.
It'd be all
LA
49ers fans. Oh my God.
LA, unless it's the Dodgers or the Lakers, LA don't care about nothing else going on out there.
They just haven't done enough yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Dodgers and the Lakers have set a legacy.
Oh, for years and years and years. Like you really got to put the time in to. Because I went to a Clippers playoff game. It was like 2021, I think, something like that. And it's Western Conference Finals, and it was a bunch of seats in there. It was a lot of Phoenix fans in there too. So. They just don't have the culture.
Yeah.
You know?
The Clippers ain't nobody there. Yeah. Like if you walk through the Staples Center, it's not Clippers.
Yeah.
It's
you
Kobe.
don't see. I don't know because they don't have no championships. They don't really have any Hall of Famers or anything. So
it's Kobe.
Yeah.
It's all Kobe really.
Yeah.
And like that team, Shaq's up there. You know?
Yeah.
You see the Showtime Lakers are in there and stuff. But
yeah, you got the statues out front. But the Clippers are moving to the Forum. So I think
getting their own now.
Yeah, so that's the old where the Lakers used to play back in the Forum, which is in Inglewood. So I think that'll help them develop their own culture since they're not in the Crypto.com arena now, but you know they're not playing in the same. You know they're not like the little brother anymore, like you know. So
yeah, that'd be cool for them. That's kind of like how like the Dodgers and Angels had to kind of separate. You know.
Yeah.
They were the Anaheim Angels for a while, but now they're back to Los Angeles Angels.
They need I think the Clippers need to like move. I think if they went to like San Diego, they would be able to like develop their own.
Well, because San Diego has a baseball team. You know, they had a football team, but now they got if you put at least another sport there.
I think they only got like soccer now.
No, they still got the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, with the Padres. But I think they have like a soccer team there. So soccer and baseball.
You just need one more, I feel like. And it would spread it out a little bit. Let them build up even more culture for themselves.
Yeah.
Because because then you got one up north. It would be kind of in the middle, and then one down south.
Or, they should go to Las Vegas.
Ooh, you want them to go to Las Vegas? That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Then because what the Raiders are doing there. I think the Raiders need to go back to Oakland, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a billionaire that owns a football team. I'm just
me neither. But I still say that's not a bad idea for them. They're doing better in Oakland, I feel like.
Yeah, they got all that money and they stinking it up down there. And Devontae Adams left Aaron Rodgers to play with his college buddy.
Well, okay, but when he explained it, he was kind of like, "Look, I left because I didn't know how many more years Aaron Rodgers has." He's like, "I don't know how many more years he's going to play. I just know that Derek Carr is going to play for a while."
I guess, man. What does that look like if he was like, "Okay, I got one of the top 5 best quarterbacks of all time for maybe a couple more years"? Or I got a guy that's just still trying to figure it out,
Well, I wouldn't say Derek Carr was trying to figure it out. I'd say he had a little bit more under his belt than that. But I'm not going to leave until he does. I'd be like, look, I'd go, if I was the best receiver like that, I'd go up to him and be like, look, are you playing another year? If so, we're going to keep this between us. But I'm leaving when you leave.
I need some reassurance.
Yeah, right? I will leave when you leave, but I will stay here until you are ready.
Yeah.
Let's win a Super Bowl though. If you're gonna stay, let's win the Super Bowl.
What he probably, and he's not the youngest guy, so he probably got, quarterbacks. So if Aaron Rodgers is like 38.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, and then
Tom Brady.
Devontae Adams is maybe like 29 or something like that, 30 years old.
He's only got a couple more years, really.
Exactly. His prime is like 2-3 more years. So I think Aaron Rodgers could play till he's like 41. So I don't know.
I agree. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have done it. That wouldn't have been my move.
Yeah.
That's why when it happened, I was like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, I was like,
the Raiders? Hold up here.
Yeah. I think Derek. I don't know, Derek Carr.
He's a good quarterback, but he was playing better when he didn't have a star because it was like then he tried to spread it out more. But he also doesn't have Waller and hasn't had him. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have Renfro now because Renfro's out.
Yeah, you kind of need that slot receiver to just go.
So-
You could beat his slot.
Or you need a receiver. I mean, don't get me wrong. Devontae Adams is a great receiver, but his is all route running. Like he needs to at least run a little bit of a route, and he's going to get by you. And if you don't let him run the route, you know, like he's not just here. I'm going to do a cross. I'm not going to just do an in. You know what I mean?
need
Like,
the time to develop.
yeah, he does a
yeah.
little. I mean, he's a magician when it comes to route running.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Some of the stuff he does, I'm like, shit, he got me over here. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, God dang, I was going to say he was going left for a minute there.
You know, I think what it also says that Devontae Adams left is that he probably seen Jordan Love in practice and was like, "This is not." the
Well, that's what I'm
transition
saying.
that
Like,
I
that's why I
want."
would have gone up to Aaron Rodgers. I've been like, look,
Yeah,
I'm leaving when you leave, but let's win the Super Bowl. If you are gonna stay, I will stay.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna make that decision, let me know.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. And I would have looked him just like that in the eyes, like, let
Yeah.
me know, because
Yeah.
I will not say nothing, but we will win.
yeah,
Rather than, hey, I'm just gonna leave.
yeah. And Aaron Rodgers did seem kind of like offended, like, "Yo, like we supposed to be building something."
But that's what I'm saying. But he did. He like he said, he's like, I didn't know how long he was gonna play. Like, he
Yeah.
could have retired this year, and that's the truth. Which
Yeah,
all these quarterbacks have been doing that. You know what I
retiring
mean?
and coming back.
Well, I wouldn't say retiring and coming back, but kind of on the fringe of retiring.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Drew Brees did.
He was
it, and
he was lingering for a couple years, like Drew Brees was.
yeah, and then all of a sudden you had, Tom Brady was lingering, did it, and
Mm-hmm.
came back. And then even Aaron Rodgers was like, man, the time off was nice, and talking about retirement. I mean, our generations of quarterbacks are leaving. And that's what's hard. And I'm like,
yeah, because I think Aaron Rodgers got drafted when we were like in high school or something like that.
mm-hmm.
So I remember seeing him at Cal Berkeley. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that whole Tom Brady and his divorce and all the rumors about him supposing to retire and stuff?
I think he's retiring next year.
You think he's done?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback because obviously you could see that he's done a couple good things. But it's like, I don't think he's the quarterback he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback because he is. He's got the smarts of the game, which are uncomparable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, put it like this, to be put in the situation of a Super Bowl this many times at least or more. I mean, that's a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
When most people see a Super Bowl maybe once, twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some people never even get there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but you can see that he's kind of digressed.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, digressed a little bit just because of the fact that like I feel like the divorce has taken a little bit of a role to it. You know what I mean? Which, don't get me wrong, I don't care who you are. That is gonna take a toll on you. I don't care if you're the best whatever in the world. That doesn't matter.
That's true.
Sometimes when women in love or anything like that, or for women, when men get in love, get in the way, it's a different story.
Yeah.
And especially when big families like that are involved.
Yeah, they got kids, and yeah, so it's a lot. And he's, like you said, he's not as young as he was. So
Right.
I think there was even pictures of her, Giselle, like on vacation with some other guy. And I was just like, man, I know that has
Just
to take a
stinks.
toll.
Yeah,
on him.
like don't get me wrong. Like if my woman was gone and I seen her with pictures with somebody else right away, I'd be like, holy moly, like
Yeah,
what are you doing?
you'd be like
I'd be hurting.
all kind of emotions.
Yeah, I'd be like, damn.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, like dang, we was just married. Like we signed divorce papers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. So, and I mean, don't get me wrong, but he's probably paying for everything that she needs, even though she is low key kind of wealthy herself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just kind of, it all kind of gets a little bit foul.
Yeah. I feel for him though, man. I think like it's one thing to be going through a divorce, but while you're in the middle of the season and you got to deal with kids. And
It's like
all
she
that.
tried to, well, I mean, but you got to think, everybody was talking about how she wanted him to settle down, wanted him to get out of football, wants him to come around the kids. and he just couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't settle down.
Everyone started making. I mean, you gotta think about it. Like everyone started making fun of him because he was at home for 2 months. And he was like, "I'm not retiring anymore.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back." Then everyone's like, "Oh, he couldn't deal with the kids for 2 months." You know what I mean? Like, or I saw someone like, "Oh, Giselle's all chin at him for 2 months, and now he wants to come back." Like, damn, y'all annoying.
I think it's tough. You know, like you got to think to be that good at football, you got to be like maniacal. You know, so I think for
he's
him,
probably never home, never around.
Just I would imagine he puts the time in, but I think like she probably just wanted.
He was like, "You get 1 hour a day with Dad. You know, like that's all you get. All right, time to go."
That's what I'm curious to see, like, because you know, even like you're doing your podcast right now, you got your family and stuff that doesn't have your presence, but I always wonder like what that looks like for those kind of athletes. Like, can you be a good dad while being the best football player? Is it possible? You know,
and that is true because it's like, I mean, are you going to be there enough? Are you going to, okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to see what your perspective is on this. Which sport do you feel like if you are the best at it, you could be the best dad still? And let's go sports wise. We will go. We'll just go football, basketball, baseball, and soccer. That's hard, but
I don't know what a soccer season looks like.
I don't either.
So I can't really say.
Well, they're traveling, I think, quite a bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to a different country and
yeah. If you playing in like the World Cups and the Olympics and stuff, so that might be out. I would honestly say football because the season is now it's 18 games. It will probably be 19 weeks, and then you got I don't know maybe a couple months in the off season. So you may have, I would say, like 5.5, 6 months out of the year where you are dedicated to football, but the games are once every Sunday, so
there's not as many.
Yeah, so if I got, I mean, if our high school careers look like professional careers, you practicing for 2 hours, 2.5 hours after school. For them, it may be like 2.5 hours of practice, maybe 2 hours of meetings and 2 hours of workouts. Yeah, but you still get to go home every single day. In terms of basketball, you're going to be on the road for 82 games. So half of the year, 41 games, you're going to be, if you play for the Lakers, you playing in Arizona, you playing in, Minnesota, you playing in Miami. So you're traveling all around the country. Like you don't even have you're never there for your kids really, and it's a longer season. You got playoffs, and stuff like that. So I would say football just because the actual games are a little bit more spread out than all the other sports. So baseball is 132 games and you got playoffs and it feels like every time baseball season ends, it's like you get to 2 weeks off, stretch your arms out a little bit, and then you right back.
Yeah, that's forever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and they're always traveling too.
They're always on the road. Yeah, it's crazy. And they have double headers and stuff. It's a lot.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, so real quick, let's hit them up. I want to tell them about your app real quick that you've been working on.
Yeah.
Because this is dope. And so I started using this app. Mm-hmm. So tell them a little bit about what it is in case people haven't known or don't know. We'll definitely put up the name and the links and stuff below here.
Okay. Fire. So it's called Apollo 16. It's a songwriting app. Basically in there you got a notepad where you can write your lyrics. You got a rhyme dictionary just in case you can't think of something that rhymes with blue or something like that. You got a voice note recorder where you want to record a melody or a cadence or something like that.
Do.
Yeah, exactly. And then you could upload instrumental. So
Okay.
like if you got a beat, a producer sends you a beat or whatever the case may be, you can upload that and you can write along with
With a beat going.
with the beat going. Yeah. So
That's dope.
yeah. So basically, it was a thing. Like I've always had like an entrepreneurial spirit.
Mhm.
So ever since I was young, I would always try to find out like ways to like make it big in some capacity. So
Mhm.
probably I don't know when like developing an app came about. Maybe like 2012, somewhere in there. I was just searching for like I just wanted to be a part of like the social media wave, like
Culture.
I just wanted to have my foot in there in some capacity. So I was really searching like, should I do a game? Should I do like a new social media, like whatever? And
New social
one
media
day,
would have been hard.
yeah, like, but I was like, I don't even know what that looks like. Like, so I just wanted to start out with something simple. I was like, I just want to be like, and I was looking at even the simple things like a calendar or, stuff like that. And then I just came across like, I was like, there's, as a songwriter, what I would see, and even there's like old videos of Drake like rapping from his BlackBerry and stuff. I was like, everybody's writing lyrics in their phone, but I don't see too many songwriting apps that are like dedicated to actually like just
Helping you write
songwriting.
songs.
Yeah, to where you don't have to leave the app for anything. That was the goal for me. Like,
That's dope.
I was like, cause some people, one day I walked in on my brother. He's writing lyrics in his phone, but the beat is playing on YouTube.
So you gotta-
Yeah, so you going back and forth.
Back and forth.
And especially, I mean, on an iPhone now, you could pull up or you can lay the YouTube video over, so you don't have to.
If you purchase it.
Yeah, but back in the day, it was like you would dip in between apps and stuff like that. So
Right.
I was like, I want to create a songwriting app, but I also want something to where like you could just stay in there and do everything you need to from top to bottom, and then you just hit the studio and record. So that was the idea, and now it's in a stage where like I don't know how to code personally, but I do have like the ideas. So I hired some developers in Iran.
You're the brains.
Yeah.
You're
So
the brains behind it.
I have a group of developers in Iran, and it's like it's tough, like when you have like developers that are overseas, because it's like they live in an entirely different world,
Getting in touch.
Yeah, so the communication is different just because there's like sometimes language barriers, and then also there's like people be going through real life stuff in other countries. Like it'd be wars and like
Yeah.
like you got the Ukraine and Russia and all these things like and then like I guess in Iran, and I don't know too much about it, but I think there's some sort of like civil war going on over there.
I think I remember looking at something like that.
Yeah, because I know a couple people that are from Iran, and they were just like crying, and we're on like Zoom calls and stuff, and they're just crying like, man, there's so much going on in my country, and no one is helping, and all these different things. So,
Well,
and that's where my developer is from. So I haven't heard from him in
right.
in a couple
If you do
weeks.
listen into this, I hope you're doing well. Then
Yeah,
hope everybody
man.
over
Shout
there
out
is
to
doing well.
everybody in Iran, because
Yeah, I don't. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe in war, but I also believe that there needs to be war.
I
I hate
say
to
that.
say it like that. You know what I mean? But it's because like if you don't have the possibility of war, everyone's gonna kind of I
Yeah.
could just do this. I could just do that. That's mine. This is mine. It's
Yeah.
Like, hey, no. Hey,
Yeah.
you gotta slow down there, bud.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that people are like that you're able to use it just to take because you want. Kind of like what Russia did. You know what I mean? Like they just want to take Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people might not say it, but this is kind of how I think about it. Like we kind of infringed low key on Russia and provoked them. It's like if I was to grab a stick, I poked you once and it's kind of sharp, and you're like, "Ow, that kind of hurt, man." And you're like, "Don't do that." And I'm like, "All right." And I poke you a couple more, and you're like, "Bro, come on, man." Eventually, you're gonna get to the point where you're like, "Bro, I told you to fucking stop."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what we kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, no, we didn't. No, yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I feel like it should have been handled different from both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so many people have lost their lives over this right now, and it's like, for what?
Yeah, yeah.
So you could just fulfill your little dream.
I think a lot of it too is like what I've realized. You like going to college, and in college, it's people from all over the world that are like coming to. Because I went to school in New Mexico, to New Mexico State, and I would be in like different meetings and stuff with like people from Sri Lanka and from Ghana and all these different countries around the world, and even I met a girl from Iran too, and she was like, especially like when Donald Trump was in office, it was very difficult for them to travel, and a lot of them were scared to go home because they felt like they weren't going to be able to come back to America. But what I realized is like it's all perspective. Like there are people from whatever from Sri Lanka that feel a certain way about America, and we feel a certain way about these countries, and vice versa, and it's all like two sides of a coin,
Right.
in terms of, so even in Russia and Ukraine, there's some people in Russia that may be like, well, these people in Ukraine are doing this, and then there's people in Ukraine that are like, these people in Russia are doing this. So it's like it's tough, like being in America, like receiving all, because even like there are certain people that like listen to my music from like Russia and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll message them like, yo, how's it going out there? And they'll be like, yo, it's kind of stupid, like I'm safe over here, I don't see what all the nonsense is about, like the but I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, it's just so crazy just to like this, there's so much going on all the time, you know what I mean?
So when I put my first episode out, I threw a ad out for it, so it would go around. I had like 5 people from Russia right when Ukraine and Russia went to war, and a whole bunch, and it didn't even say Russia anymore. It said like Soviet of Russia or something like that. Like and I was like, over there in Russia are watching, watching my
You
podcast.
Look at the analytics.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I had some people from like Sweden. I had some people from like, I think it was Nigeria that were watching. And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Like that's what's up.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
It's so cool.
But
it's like, it's so weird how like, like social media works, and YouTube and stuff like that. Like just the access you get to like people across the world is so crazy.
It's intense. It's like whoa. That's, like I said, that's kind of what got me at first when I was just doing podcasts. I was like, I don't want everybody seeing me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's a great idea for everybody to see me. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But give me 1 second here.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys don't know, this episode is also brought to you by My Rose. That's MAI__ROSE. I'll put it up right here. It's probably already been up there, but it's gonna be there. Okay, My Rose, MAI__ROSE. She's doing tons of stuff. They just got a new sublimation printer. They just got a new DTV printer. They're doing all sorts of new graphic designs and stuff like that. If you would like to go check them out, you could go check her out on Instagram. She does do custom orders and stuff. She also sells pins, wine stoppers. I think they're getting ready for the festivities coming up for Christmas. So look for those bottle openers, the Santa sacks, stuff like that. Lots of good stuff. But if you hit her up right now and put code 2PSPOD, okay, she'll give you 10% off. Okay, it's a 10% discount that you can get on your first purchase. So please go hit her up and let her know that I sent you.
Yeah, do that.
Do that. So, but yeah, the app is cool. I like it. You know what I mean? Like, I just use it to take notes because it's an easy way for me to take notes, and it's good support. So I like that. And then
it actually doesn't. You don't necessarily have to use it for songwriting. I know.
Maybe you want to take notes while listening to a beat. Just taking notes.
Exactly. I know. I was listening to this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of success in business is like categorizing like yourself. So you can have like say for example, you have like Hondas and Acuras, right? They're like the same. They're under the same, or Toyota and
Umbrella,
Lexus. You know, they're under the same umbrella. But the Toyota is like the consumer version. You know, so where like more people can have
Wanna
access
buy
to it.
it.
It's cheaper. But the Lexus is more higher end, right? But you can't really sell a high end Toyota because it kind of confuses the consumers, right? So they have to create like a different branch of Lexus where it's like more expensive cars, you know, more quality and stuff like that.
Because then they can see the upgrades to it.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of like I think for consumers we just like categories, and when there's like too many things inside of one category, then it gets confusing. So that's a way to like find a niche inside of business, right? So for me, for example, like, and this is like the trick, right? It's a songwriting app, but it's really just a note. It's just an app where you just
For
take
notes.
notes, right?
That's what my app is for.
Yeah, so when you but when you put it like that, like this is a songwriting app, it categorizes it so like people can
narrows it
say like,
down.
oh dang, like I never heard of a songwriting app.
Yeah, and then they go look it up.
Yeah,
Songwriting app.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, I want one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So,
a couple people I'm gonna shoot it out to.
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Because
Yeah.
there's been one on here. Phil, have you seen him? He's actually been putting out quite a bit of songs.
Oh, I gotta check them out.
Yeah, he's doing pretty cool. But he might like something like that. I don't know
Okay.
what he uses, but he goes and does his thing. So
Yeah.
that's
And
all
like
cool.
I like it to share with artists just to get feedback, because
Right.
I'm only me and I have my own opinions, and I have, you know, I get feedback from different
Everybody.
people, but like I just like to hear different people's opinions, like, oh, it would be dope if this was on there, or you know, if it
And
had
then-
that feature.
Who did you say was using it? I know somebody.
Oh, so this artist named Blast. Blast is like, he's kind of like up and coming West Coast artist.
Yeah.
And one day I was in the studio because one of my friends he directs a lot of his music videos. So he was in the studio working on his album called I forget the name of the album, but he's in the like, we went to Malibu. They rented out this house and stuff like that.
Dang.
And I just wanted to go because I just like music.
Right.
I'm a fan of like the creative process.
Right. That's
So,
the cool thing about it.
Yeah.
It's the hard work, but that's the cool part about it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm more curious about that. Like I've always been a person, like even like before I played football at BHS, my brother played, and I would go to his practices and just like look at the receivers and, you know, running backs, and be like, yo, this is so cool, like they're so good, you know what I mean? So I just always like the finished product, cool, but the creative process, like I'm like always been intrigued by that. So I was just sitting in the studio, and there was a bunch of producers and guitar players and stuff in there, and it was kind of like, it may sound a little bit weird, but when you like when you're young and you're shy and you ask a girl out, or you ask a girl to go to the
Yeah,
movies.
kind of butterflies.
Yeah, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy, because there's so many people, when you're a successful artist, there's so many people coming at you with like,
Oh, what about this? What about that? Can you
Yeah.
do this? Can you do that?
exactly. And I didn't want to be a person that was just trying to like mooch off of him. So it was like, my guy was like, yo, like, this is, he gave me a plan, and it didn't work out that way because like it didn't, the scenery wasn't set up in the way that he described it, but like Blast had left, he went to the bathroom or something like that, and I just had it up, and I was like, yo man, you should use this app, like I got a songwriting app. And he was like, what is it about? And I was like, it's just a songwriting app, you can write your lyrics in there and stuff like that. And then he downloaded it on the spot, and then maybe like 20 minutes later he went to the booth and recorded a song. The song's called Pick Your Poison. So,
Use the app, huh?
yeah.
And see, that's dope. Because I mean, like you said, you could even plug some headphones in. You know what I mean, and just
Yeah.
write it down while
Yeah.
it's going, and you just write on there.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it going. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, so it was fire. It was just cool, like, you know, and you see, like, Blast has worked with everybody from like Rick Ross to Nas to, like, you know, pretty much even Chris Brown, all these different artists, and like, you know, just to be like
people
connected in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
It's fire.
that's what's up. That's cool, man. That's dope. And see, I was just listening to something today, but like recommendations are like the biggest form of getting your apps and getting your business out there. And so I was like, oh, you're true. That's right. Because if someone's like, hey, man, you got to try this out, you're not
Yeah.
gonna be like, there's nobody that I know that's tried this one. Let's try it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, somebody tried this one and said it's really good. I'll try it out.
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking about it one day. I was like, the share button, it like revolutionized social media because it's one thing just to like something. It's one thing to view it and, you know, just be a passive viewer. But when you hit that share button and you send it to your best friend or you send it to whomever, and they're like, yo, you got to listen to this. And then you finally get around. Like all of my favorite anything was like shared to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm a huge like Childish Gambino fan, and one of my buddies from like elementary or from junior high, he shared his music with me one day, and I was like, oh, this. I was at first he'd be like, oh, that's cool, and then you just start like he starts sharing more and more music, and he's like, oh, this is really dope, and then you kind of follow.
It's that practice, man.
Yeah,
that's what people don't understand. Some people are like, oh yeah, it should happen right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah. Mm-hmm. You think these rappers and stuff said, hey, my first song was my best song?
Yeah. Very rarely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Some people are one-hit wonders, and then they just
that's true.
The first song they drop is the best ones. But nah, I completely understand. It's a but yeah, I think that
learning game.
Yeah, and I think that I think the lesson for me when in terms of like, you know, what having him use the app, and I doubt he's used it since, but just having that moment was like affirmation, confirmation for me.
So good.
Yeah, and I think that the lesson for me was like, it's important to share like what you're up to, because that moment could have came and went. You know, I could have never like.
You gotta take that step.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Gretzky said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Exactly, for sure. So, and in the like the space was like set up perfectly because he was already like writing in his phone.
Right.
And I was just like, you could use my app to write the same lyrics
might just
down.
be easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And I think what I realized with my app too is like, you have to make it, and I'm still working on it and getting it to a place. I think once it's all said and done, like it's going to be like, I think it's going to be like the go-to thing, like, you know, the go-to thing that people use. Because a lot of people use a note, like, you know, using the notes now.
Yeah.
A lot of people use the notes. It's like, it's secure, it's connected to your iCloud, like you could transfer it from phones and stuff like that. But
makes it easy.
But we're working on it like in that same way to where like you can download it on any phone and then your notes like go with you. But I think that like once I market it in a way where and I get all the bugs out and stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is the app that you need if you're gonna write songs.
If you want to write songs, you want to write anything, this is the app you need.
For sure, yeah. So once we get it to that space and market it like that, I think like it's just gonna be like, and then like developing things, or you know, you could share notes on there. Like I want to do it so we could share notes in between songwriters and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that they could put their lyrics in.
Yeah, you could be
dope.
co-writing with different people and stuff like that. So.
Right, that's gonna be killer.
Yeah.
So not only are you doing those things, so you write music, you've created an app that you're still working on, but it's almost there.
It's getting close.
It's always a process. It always will be.
Yeah.
And you have your own podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have a co-host on your podcast.
Yeah, my basically like my big brother Eddie McGee. We started that like I said, I went to college in New Mexico, and I was driving to school, so it was like 14 hours, 15-hour drives
every day.
No, not every
Oh, I was
day.
like, God damn, like, you doing
No,
that?
no. I mean, like during the holidays, you know what I mean? I would come home for Thanksgiving, stuff like that.
Jeez, I was like, God
Not
damn.
every day. And that would be wild. Like living in Bakersfield, but like commuting maybe like 3 days out of the week.
I was about to say,
Nah,
you had me
so
lost for words.
nah,
Oh, you just show up to
nah,
pick some papers
nah.
up behind, and you just dipping back home or
Yeah,
what?
yeah, exactly. I get some dinner and then just dip.
Yeah.
But so when I was driving, first day of school or whatever, or Christmas break, I would. It's just so much time. Like you just got time in the road, space and opportunity. So we would just hop on. I mean, you would get tired. I get tired of listening to music and stuff. So I'd be like, let me call some of my friends and stuff. So at the same time, he was maybe a year or two into his to driving trucks like this.
Ooh.
So he was like in the same world, kind of like working 12-hour days, 13-hour days, while I'm on the road for 13 hours. So we would just chop it up for like 2 hours sometimes. And that
Yeah.
was around the time where, like I was saying, I was like, you get tired of listening to music. So I was like, I just need something different to listen to, you know? So that's when Charlemagne the God and Andrew Schultz, they have a podcast called The Brilliant Idiots.
Yep.
And I just seen them posting about it. I didn't really know what podcasts were. It was just kind of like, what is that? I didn't really
Podcast.
understand it. So one day I just, hit the link that they posted, and I was like, oh, this is what it is. Like they telling jokes and having conversations about certain subjects and stuff. So I ran through like 3, 4 podcasts back to back, when I first discovered it, and I shared it with Eddie. And I don't know if he had discovered it beforehand or not, but I know that I sent him that SoundCloud link from their podcast, and he was like, "Yo, this is dope." So he had the idea, like when I graduated school and I was in Bakersfield like permanently. He had the idea of like starting one on his own. So he was like on his truck and he would just record into his phone. And he had like 15-minute podcasts where he was just talking about relationships or something that he learned growing up. And
Cool.
yeah, he posted a couple, and then it just didn't really. He didn't have a
Resonate.
consistency. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I don't really. It's hard to say how it literally happened, but I think I might have like inserted myself into because he was just talking about doing a podcast. But I think I was like, man, that would be dope. Like if we both did it together and we was just talking on the phone, and then one day I just pulled up to his apartment because I was recording music, so I had like music equipment, and literally like the way yours is set up, like almost to a T. Like I had one little microphone on a table, and we didn't have the video, but what he just had like a tray for like eating food or whatever.
Yeah.
Sitting in his living room. And we sat like right here, and then when I talked into the mic, I would lean in, and then when he talked in, he would lean in, and we just put our first episode out, and it might have that first week, it probably got like 8 views or 8 listens, and who knows if they actually listened all the way through.
Right.
But I just remember like being nervous, like, and we're only recording. It doesn't really make sense to be nervous, but we were like,
it does make sense.
yeah.
Like here was my thought behind it. I was like, yeah, maybe only a couple people will listen. I was like, but
Yeah.
if I keep doing this, who knows how many people could really listen to this?
Yeah.
And what if I'm over here speaking something stupid? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I was like, oh my god. So that's
Yeah.
what started going through my head, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got nervous. I understand the nervous part.
Yeah. It was tough, man. And but ever since then, like I remember one of the more powerful conversations that we had, my older brother, which is Eddie's best friend, he was like, y'all holding back on there. Like I can tell y'all not really like comfortable.
Yourselves.
Yeah, you weren't being yourself. So the next episode, like we was cracking jokes and stuff like that, and we kind of like found our rhythm. But
comfy again.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like you have to kind of make it a one-on-one without making it a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell when people come on and they're all nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some guests come on and they're like, yeah,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and it's like, you're like, hey, man, you're good. Just
Yeah,
relax, be
we're just
you.
having a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely had guests like that. Like even some of my like friends, like they'll come on, and I think a lot of times what happens with people, and just because we've been doing it for so long, they think that they have to be like a certain way. Like they think they might have to be like funny or whatever, like, and they just kind of get wrapped up in like thinking about everything.
You want to know what I tell people before they come on? I tell them, I'm like, look, you're going to get to a point where you're like, hey, everyone might hear this.
Yeah.
And I have to talk some certain way. I was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just be you. That's the best thing you can do is just try to feel comfortable. Be you. It's me and you talking.
Yeah.
I was like, I might talk to them a little bit. You can talk to them a little bit. But if you need to, just think about it, me and you.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But people don't get it until they're actually like sitting there and they're like, oh, shit, there's
people listening. Yeah, for sure. I think, and I don't know if this is like, because I went to film school. Oh, two stories. So I went to film school in New Mexico State.
Nice.
And like there, I was kind of forced to take an acting class because I needed a certain amount of units to graduate, and like my professor, my acting professor was like, he has like a Tony Award, and he's like, like
Big
one of the more renowned people to come out of New Mexico. And I was like so nervous, like even walking into the class, because I'm like, dang, I gotta act, and it's gonna be in front of people. But what I realized was like I was almost too comfortable in front of the camera, like even so much so, like I would describe it to people like, let's say I had like public speaking, like let's say I had to like give a speech in class, and like this was the type of thing that would happen. Like I would be like sweating. Like I had a communications class and I had to give a speech. I was sweating. Like I used to always wear hats because I would be like, I don't want to be up there sweating because it's so like nerve wracking. But if that same scene were in a movie, I would be comfortable.
Cool and collective.
So I say that to say, like, I think, sometimes like when we started the podcast and we started recording, or I was on different people's podcasts, like there was a certain level of like comfort that I felt that I couldn't really describe. So
right.
It was just weird. But going back to the point about people being nervous, there was one guy we had on our podcast, and I won't say his name, but he got on our podcast, and it was a basic question like, hey man, like tell us your name and just tell us where you're from. And he was like, it all started, when I was very young, and I was just a little kid just running around, and
oh my God.
just my mom raised me, and he was just like, he was going like, he was almost like recounting his inception.
Life.
Yeah, and it was just like
like
no. Yo, we just like, what city are you from?
Yeah.
What I mean? So yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Where it was, I'm not gonna say the names either, but it was early on in my podcasting, and he came on, and I was like, hey man, just this is how we'll kind of start it off. I gave him a little couple of things. I was like, well, just start it off this way, that way we can kind of build into what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started recording, and he goes, yeah, so back when I was like 5 years old, and I was like, cut, hold up. I was like, no.
Yeah.
We're not starting back when you were
Not
5
when
years
you're 5,
old.
bro.
Yeah, that's what back when I was 5 years old, I remember my mama told me,
yeah,
don't be out past the street lights, and I was one time. I'm like, nah, dude, we're not doing this.
Just too much.
Yeah,
too much backstory.
Yeah, just make it plain and simple. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious. I think some people just get on here or get on podcasts, and they just like,
they freak out.
It's just too much.
It's okay though, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to test yourself, and that's a way of testing yourself. You know?
Yeah.
And this is like I feel because like I had a communications class. Mine was all during COVID, so I had to do it all online.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of was just like that. Like it was at like I kind of was like I could talk to these people.
Mm-hmm.
That's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty nice. I was okay with that one.
Yeah,
But-
and I think I don't know, cause I do like I do stand up sometimes. Like there's open
Yeah?
mics. Yeah, open mics here in Bakersfield, and I'll go up there and just tell some jokes. One of the things I realize is like we're all like some people are just going to be nervous. That's just like the way it is, and like it's what you do with that is
Right.
really like what really separates people. Cause you know you hear stories like Beyonce. She's been performing for probably like 25 years now or something like that, and she still gets nervous before shows and she throws up and stuff like that. So it's like we all have similar feelings. It's just like, what are you gonna do when?
What are you gonna make it into?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so that's like the crazy thing with podcasting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, let's take him out on something good real quick.
Okay.
This has probably been my longest podcast ever.
Oh, man, I'm a real podcaster. So
I know, we'll be here all night.
We
That's-
gonna be here for sure.
Yeah, so, but yeah, let's take him out on something good. Anything that you got good that you kind of want to let them know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all can follow me on every social media. Just Kfings, KFINGS.
It'll be up right over here.
Yeah. Mostly Instagram is where I'm heavily like putting stuff at, and I have stuff on YouTube. But a couple of things that I'm working on. I'm working on a web series right now. It's called Tubi. It's kind of it shows like the behind the lens version of what it's like to be like a content creator.
Okay.
So it's like a short web series, like 3-4 minute episodes.
Nice.
And then I have a short film coming out called Blue Smoke. It's about like the downside of being like a gangster rapper. So it kind of follows this character that's
There's a lot of them getting shot recently.
yeah, exactly. So it's like super timely, but like just how a lot of these artists are like they're from the streets, but they still think that they can be in the streets and be a rapper at the same time. So it's kind of following that kind of thing. And then just music. My new single Ride is out right now on all streaming platforms. And then podcasts, you can listen to a Trucker's Mind podcast. We're on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music, and all the other little podcast apps out there. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So my social media has everything. My Instagram. So just follow Kfings, Keith Fingers Jr. So my dad be on social media, so you gotta
get the right one.
Yeah, it's not gonna look like me if you search him.
Hold up.
This
Hold
man's
up,
old.
this look
He's
way
old.
Did you
Yeah.
wear some makeup or something?
Yeah, exactly. So but just content like short films, web series,
That's gonna be dope.
podcasts, music. Like I'm trying to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna make me the star.
You can be in there.
I'm just kidding. Maybe. I don't know how much. I'd be like, no. I'm supposed to clean your window.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
The worst is like new actors have a bad habit of looking at the camera.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, yeah, I'm supposed to. Yeah.
So you're like, hey, I'm right here, man. Just
like,
look
hey,
at me.
cut. Like,
Hold
you're
up.
good, man.
Hey,
just
do I
don't
need
look
to
at
put
the
a blinder right here for you or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Sometimes I mean that's it. I understand that.
Mm-hmm. But I just just creative stuff. I want to do everything while I still got breath. So.
Hell yeah. Well, if I can support and help in any way, you let me know. I got you.
Likewise, man.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for.
You can find me at YouTube is my big one actually, and Instagram. I've been doing a lot of Instagram. I'm gonna start trying to go live everywhere. By the way, and doing that kind of stuff. There's like StreamYard, I think.
Yeah,
You can do it on.
Yeah,
on
I just did a podcast with this guy named Kamal, and
nice.
Frank, and they did theirs on StreamYard. So I think they stream it live and then they post it afterwards.
That's
So
what you
it's
can do.
pretty
That's
cool.
dope.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you guys can see me live.
Yeah, and
Maybe
for you
not.
too, I would definitely do the reels. The reels is like short form content is
just getting it out there.
Yeah, it's like YouTube Shorts and the reels. Like it's like taking candy from a baby. You just cut up a small clip, interesting clip, and then put it on the reel.
Okay. You can find me at YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. You can find me. That's about it, really. YouTube's my big one. Instagram, Facebook. You can find me at Facebook. Find me there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can find me there. 2Piece Pod. Search me up like that. Got a website. I haven't taken care of it in a while, but I got a website too, so you can check me out there. 2picepod.com.
Yeah.
But this episode is also brought to you by. Well, real quick before I do that, I want to give a shout out to the Chino Brothers. They've given me a lot of help too. If you haven't checked out that podcast, the Chino Brothers podcast is a really good one, and they're very supportive.
Yeah.
So Chino Brothers podcast, go listen to them. They're cool too. And the Trucker's Mind podcast, right?
Yeah.
The Trucker's Mind or just Trucker's Mind podcast?
A Trucker's Mind.
A Trucker's Mind podcast.
As long as you put a Trucker's Mind, it'll pop up anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know very many people. Like if you type in 2 P's in a pod, everybody else's but mine pops up. You got to type in 2P's pod.
Oh, okay.
2P's pod, not 2 P's in a pod. 2P's pod.
2P's pod.
So this episode is brought to you by Porterville Wholesale. If you haven't gone to my boy Ray, checked him out, and seen that he's got all the money to save for you that he can, then I don't know what you're doing. Because you're definitely not listening to my podcast and understanding that you need to go down there and get yourself a heater for this winter because it's going to be cold. And he's got all the heaters for you, and they're all going to be cheap. Well, I shouldn't say cheap, but they're going to be cheaper, a lot cheaper than what you can get for anywhere else. So go check him out at 1902 West North Grand in Porterville, California. He's even on my Facebook profile and page if you need to go check him out there. So go check him out there and definitely hit him up and tell him 2Piece Pod sent you.
Hey.
So, hey, thank you for coming on tonight.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Hell
Anytime,
yeah.
man.
So, hey, you guys have a good night.
Good
and
night.
We're out.